Hey. Hey, didn't see you there. Hey. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Wanna know something? I haven't even left the house today yet. It's been a busy day. This is what happens when you have a long weekend and then it's like you don't really get a Monday on a Tuesday and then basically your Tuesday becomes a Monday. Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Courtney. If you're new here, welcome back to my channel. Today, we are gonna talk about what it means to have Jupiter in Aquarius. If you're new here, welcome back. My name is Courtney. If you don't know already, I talk about astrology, spirituality, and all the things that are going inside my brain, personal development, yada yada, what's going on in my life. This is what this YouTube channel is all about. So if you're here right now watching this, I appreciate you. My goal is to grow this channel. I actually really want to be a YouTuber, which is so weird to say, but I'm not even gonna try and hide it. So if you want, you can like, comment, subscribe, and that'll help me out. My Jupiter is in Leo, so that was just coming out right there. Anyway, if you're new here, then obviously you maybe don't know this, but these are all the things that we talk about, and my channel has a bunch of different snippets of information in regards to astrology and these types of topics. So I have kind of been playing around with this channel for the last couple years, but now I'm really excited to be diving more into giving you information around certain things that are happening in our collective energy, as well as my interpretation of how these things will show up in your chart. So that is what you can expect. Today, like I said at the beginning, we are going to be talking about Jupiter in Aquarius. So what I'm referring to is Jupiter in Aquarius transiting in the sky. So you might have Jupiter in Aquarius in your own chart, which you can go to astro.com, or you can book a reading with me and see what all this means for you. However, Jupiter is in Aquarius right now at the time that I am filming this, and it is currently retrograde. So we're gonna talk about what this means as a collective energy. Jupiter has been in Aquarius for a while now, all right? But it's currently retrograde, which means a couple things. So let's unpack this a little bit. All right, so first of all, I wanna tell you a couple of things. So what does it mean for Jupiter in Aquarius? Jupiter is this planet that's all about abundance, expansion. It wants to bring almost like a magnifying glass to everything it touches. Now, the thing is that some planets and signs, they work better together than others. And some of them, they don't work as well together. You know, they're not home there, so they don't work as well with that energy. So this is kind of the situation when Jupiter is in Aquarius. So what does it mean to have these planets together? Well, if we know that Jupiter brings expansion and abundance in a magnifying glass, this is what it's doing to Aquarius. So Aquarius's energy gets amplified. What does Aquarius bring? Aquarius is all about freedom, equality of the people, It's about rights, it's about the collective, right? Aquarius is very much so about like these progressive topics and ideas that go throughout our collective. And as we have Saturn also in Aquarius, we're really getting all of this energy that is just being amplified about all the Aquarian traits that we have in our world that, like I said, are being magnified by Jupiter. Oh, I love this so much because you can actually tell how this has been playing out in the collective. Like, just give yourself, I'm just gonna pause here for a second. Take a quick, just scan of the world. Jupiter in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius, but today we're only focusing on Jupiter in Aquarius. So Jupiter actually moved into the sign of Aquarius in December 2020. So this started this phase, right? And it stays in Aquarius until May 13th, 2021. Okay, back it up, scratch it up. So Jupiter moved into Aquarius in December 2020. Then what happened is it moved into Pisces in May. And so it took a little break and went, I'm gonna move into Pisces just to give you guys a glimpse of what's to come in the future. But then I'm gonna come back into Aquarius. The interesting thing about this is that when Jupiter moved into Pisces, which I have a different video on that, you can go and watch it here. That was the day that the mandate for masks was brought into the world. And then the exact same time when Jupiter went back into Aquarius is when the masks came back on in most places in the world. So there is, again, this sense of restriction coming into place, and that's actually Saturn. But like I said, because Jupiter is that magnifying glass, it blows up what it's touching. So Jupiter is blowing up the ideas of Aquarius. It's blowing up that, those feelings of Saturn, which is to be restricted. And Jupiter is essentially responding to Saturn. It wants to give us abundance. Jupiter's job is to say, hey, I want to give you everything that I possibly can. But with Saturn there, Saturn is the dad, big daddy Saturn. He's like, no, you're not giving them the things yet because they need to take responsibility and start to work through these specific patterns and things in order to then reap the benefits of what they've worked on. Saturn is restrictive, okay? It sucks. Jupiter is this, I just want to be free, give you all the blessings, optimism, all those things. And that's great and that's beautiful, but sometimes we have to go through that restriction in order to then get those things. So with Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius until now, when I'm filming this, it is now back in the sign of Aquarius and it is retrograde. It is going to stay in the sign of Aquarius December 28th, 2021. So at the end of the year, we are going to break free from this Jupiter and Aquarius energy and move into Jupiter and Pisces again. Now, before we get there, we have to go back and integrate. That's what this retrograde is all about. A lot of what we've learned. On a collective level, what does this mean? Think of the age of Aquarius, my friends. What happened then? There was this fighting for freedom. There was this energy of getting out there and rioting and protests. Maybe not riot, but protesting things for the sake of humanity. That is what Jupiter is magnifying. If there is something in our collective that isn't right or doesn't feel humanly right, Jupiter is magnifying it, bringing it to light so that we can work through it. Now, Saturn is about governments, right? So as much as this video is about Jupiter in Aquarius, Saturn is playing a big role here because he is restricting what Jupiter is able to do. So what I want to say, and this is kind of just like intuitively what I feel called to share, is that when you're taking responsibility for your life and you're doing something for the greater good of humanity, then that's that Aquarius energy, then eventually you will be rewarded for what is for the greater collective. Now, this is where things get a little bit interesting because on a collective level, we are choosing what we feel is right for the collective from our own beliefs. Jupiter also rules beliefs. Aquarius is progressive belief. So how can Jupiter and Aquarius show up in our own life in regards to changing our belief systems? Aquarius has everything to do with, like I said, progressive energy, technology, bringing out this like new innovation ideas. So this means we're really being asked right now, especially with Jupiter retrograde, to integrate these new belief systems, to reevaluate, reprogram our beliefs to fit the progressive reality that we want to move into. That's my take on Jupiter in Aquarius. If you take anything from this, I want you to know that that is a very collective level, I guess, insight that I just shared with you. But from now until the end of the year, if you're watching this in this 2021 chunk, what is happening is this is basically giving you an invitation to reinvent, yes, your belief systems, think outside the box, progress your life so that it's not only you that's changing, but it's going to change the ripple for the generations to come. And trust that, Jupiter can still benefit you when it's in Aquarius, but it's going to be in ways that is a little bit more subtle and more about helping you do your Saturn responsibilities. Okay, so that is kind of that. Everyone has Jupiter in a different place in their chart. If you're someone who has Jupiter and Aquarius in your chart, this is great. You're probably somebody who is really inspired by creating change in your communities, in your collective. You might have this energy of like expansion when you're with community that feels really good to you. You could be somebody who's here to change a big piece of the collective. But this is something that could come up for you. If this is what you want to dive into more, definitely book a birth chart reading. I would love to check out your chart, or you can go ahead and do it on your own. But I wanted to do a video on this today and just kind of, unpack that a bit, because I think it's important for us to know that Jupiter is moving through Aquarius again before it goes back into Pisces. And when it does go back into Pisces, we got to be ready. We got to be ready to bring forward what we've learned, so that when that Jupiter and Pisces energy comes along, we can heal, because Pisces is about healing, and it'll be able to work a little bit better with Jupiter and Pisces. So right now, you're working with Jupiter and Aquarius. It's going to be interesting. Things will be amplified. That energy of the collective will be big, but it's happening for us, right? Universe has a plan. God has a plan. I don't know what it is, but it's out there. So if this resonates with you, if you guys are curious about more, comment below. I hope I answered your questions on this. And yeah, let me know what you think. I can't wait to read the comments. So I will see you all in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and have an amazing day. And don't forget, go live your dreams. Bye.